What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Smooth J. We back. We speak my opinion on topics. Hi, wherever you at, wherever you listening, wherever you watching, I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. We wouldn't be at 1.6K without y'all and climbing, man. Y'all are some legends. Y'all are truly amazing. All of y'all, my day ones, my renegades, my max, whoever out there, y'all are amazing. The whole community. Hey, it's all love out here, man. You already know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you new. And hey, drop in the comments what city, what state, what country rocking with your boy Smooth J from, man. This is a whole community. This is worldwide. This is global out here, man. We trying to do big things with the community. And we got 4 community names in the poll. You know what I'm saying? We got the smoothies, and it is ahead by a landslide right now. It's almost up. It might be over 100 votes right now. We got Smooth Gang. We got the smoothies. We got the criminals. Or smooth criminals. The smooth criminals. My bad. The criminals, man. Your boy is just absolutely lost in space. We got smooth criminals, the smoothies, smooth gang, and we got the speakers. So those are the 4 options. Go ahead and vote on which one you want. We'll probably end the poll tomorrow sometime, you know what I'm saying? And I'm also gonna try to create a Discord where we could just chat easily, you know what I'm saying? Where your boy Smooth J could just chat with y'all. And we could just, just chop it up, like a community. It's a community out here. We gotta create a Discord for us. But first, we gotta choose a name so I can name the group. You know what I'm saying? But we back at it again. You already know it's about to get deep. It's about to get real. It's about to get real truthful up in here. My boy Ren, we got chapter 3 up next. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. We already talked enough. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it in full screen. Let's get it.
My therapist was scowling at my weekly anxiety and depression scores like a detective trying to crack a particularly stubborn case. There were no signs of improvement, and the scores followed no real measurable pattern that were consistent with bipolar. After nearly 2 years of talk therapy and taking enough medications to fill a pharmacy, he sat down with me and he dropped the bombshell that he didn't think that I had bipolar. In fact,
of course not. Like, they have been misdiagnosing him from the beginning. From the beginning, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't understand why they thought he was bipolar. There was something actually wrong. Like, take some blood tests, do something.
he said that he didn't think that I had depression at all. And it was a very odd thing to be stripped of an identity in an instant. The reality was that a 20-minute in and out consultation 2 years ago led to 2 years of swallowing pills that I never needed and devoting so much of my time to managing the condition that I never actually had.
That's what's tough. That's what breaks my heart the most is, dude, they was over here making him pop pills and he didn't even have what they thought he had. You know what I'm saying? Just for, basically them to just tell him like, hey, you're bipolar, you have this mental disorder, even though he didn't even have that at all.
Needed and devoting so much of my time to managing the condition that I never actually had. The emotions inside me swirled around like a mismatched soup. On one hand, I was full of anger and I was bitter about the whole situation, but I was also hopeful that this new path could offer me the relief that I desperately needed. He told me he was going to refer me to an ME clinic in Bath. I'd never heard of it before, but instinctively true to character, I started researching it online as soon as I got home. Apparently ME is the medical equivalent of a choose-your-own-adventure book, with tiredness as the only consistent plotline. There were no universally accepted reasons as to why the fuck it existed in the first place. It seemed it was largely accepted to be a post-viral condition, but that was all speculative because there were no clear...
Trying to read all of it, Like, and then that's what's crazy. It's like, it even says, like, it's basically more common in females, ages 30 to 60. Like, dude, he's like barely an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just kind of just making up stuff at this point.
It was largely accepted to be a post-viral condition, but that was all speculative because there were no clear consensus in the medical community what ME even was. The defining characteristic was a tiredness that wouldn't go away with rest. I could relate to this. In fact, I could more than relate to it.
If you want to build an app and have no idea how to code or where to start, check out Base 44.
That's crazy though, cause like he said, like he really didn't even think he had it, but like the symptoms that they were talking about, like the sleep and all that, he said like basically I kind of felt like I had it because I could relate to those symptoms a little bit.
I could relate to this. In fact, I could more than relate to it. For anyone lucky enough to have not have experienced this, if you want an idea of what it's like, force yourself to stay awake for 3 nights in a row. During this time, eat the food that makes you feel terrible, and in this sleep-deprived state, exercise until your muscles give out. By the 3rd day, you'll have a small insight into living with this condition.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Not sleeping for 3 nights, working out until you just bones just ache. You can't even do it anymore. You can't even move. That is, oh man, that's tough. Like, that is something that no one should go through at all. No one should go through. Like, I'm going on like 3 hours of sleep with 2 days. And I'm like already like kind of lost. And then he said eating the foods that make you even feel even worse.
Give out. By the 3rd day, you'll have a small insight into living with this condition. During the years post-stem cell transplant, where I recovered a lot of my health and functionality, I remember getting COVID and thinking it was a walk in the park compared to the first year of my illness.
That's crazy. That's crazy. He said he got COVID, and he said that was a walk in the park compared to what he had been living through his whole life. Well, basically almost his entire life. Dude, that's insane. That's insane.
I remember getting COVID and thinking it was a walk in the park compared to the first year of my illness. The difference was COVID lasted about a week. The thick of my illness lasted 8 years, and it only was getting worse.
He said COVID lasted a week. He said, I've been dealing with something worse than that for 8 years of my life.
About a week. The thick of my illness lasted 8 years, and it only was getting worse. I pinned a lot of hope on going to that first visit at the ME clinic. It was a 6-month waiting list, God bless NHS wait times, but I felt excited to be surrounded by people who would understand me, where I could climb out of this nightmare, but my hopes were pretty quickly crushed during that first visit.
Man, these like 6 month visits, like these 6-month wait times is absolutely insane to me. Like, they couldn't get him in sooner? Like, that's why I'm saying, like, people get sick, people die because the medical industry is just an absolute scam. It's rigged.
Where I could climb out of this nightmare, but my hopes were pretty quickly crushed during that first visit. I remember walking into a space that looked like a disused classroom where a bunch of people on chairs were sitting around in circles like Alcoholics Anonymous. I could feel a sense of camaraderie in that we all felt like dog shit. We were all confused and we were all desperately wanting to feel better. I believe at the time I was probably the youngest in the group. The group leader waddled in and handed us all a booklet that looked like a school timetable. She then sat us down and told about this new revolutionary technique called pacing, where you write down and track everything that you do in a day, and then you do it less. And then with time, do it more again. The theory being that you have a limited bucket of energy compared to normal people, and you need to protect that and gradually push it. I thought this sounded pretty stupid, so I raised my hand. I told her about the pain in my body. I told her that my muscles twitched constantly. I told her that my bones ached. I told her that my mouth was dry. I couldn't focus. That some days they'd be without mercy and I'd be trapped in bed for the whole day. But the days that I wasn't, I wanted to make the most of it. I wanted to breathe the air and I wanted to live. She told me she understood it's hard, but she didn't really offer more than that. She just pointed at the booklet and told me to follow it. I asked her about things like heavy metal poisoning, about chronically reactivating viruses, about defective mitochondria, about all the things that I read that were linked to chronic fatigue, but she just raised an eyebrow, looked at me like I was a hypochondriac, and told me she knew nothing about those things.
Even like the leader of this group that he went to for ME, they still couldn't even tell him what was wrong. The lady looked at him like he was a hypochondriac, he said. Like, she looked at him like he was crazy, and she said, oh, I don't know anything about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's absolutely just, it pains me to see people that are sick that can't get the help that they actually truly need.
Raised an eyebrow, looked at me like I was a hypochondriac, and told me she knew nothing about those things. I remember walking out of the building feeling disheartened and defeated, so much so that my legs buckled as I was walking home. I began to sob uncontrollably on the side of the road. An old woman knelt down to comfort me and asked me what was wrong. I didn't even really know how to explain, so I just told her that I missed my friend. Despite my skepticism, I stuck to the program for at least half a year, and I kept going for my periodic visits to the clinic, and it did jack shit. In fact, I got worse. I was always getting worse. One thing that particularly struck me:
every time he does something new, he gets worse and worse and worse. That's literally, I don't understand why they would keep making him do things that he doesn't even have. Like, why? Why is it that the medical industry does this?
In fact, I got worse. I was always getting worse. One thing that particularly struck me about the ME support groups was the pure desperation and confusion. With most other conditions, you're given a diagnosis, a prognosis of whether it's going to kill you, and what you can do to manage it or cure it. With ME, you don't get that. You get an indeterminately long sentence to purgatory. You feel worse than you've ever felt in your whole life, and you're given no explanation as to why, and no signpost pointing the way out.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
StockX is here to get you right for the first day of school. From iconic sneakers to backpacks, hats, and
The problem is, like, he said ME was just basically just another thing that made him feel worse and worse and worse. And they had no explanation for why he was feeling worse, why things were not getting better, and just what even ME was. Like,
and no signpost pointing the way out. There was no selection bias to the people suffering. Members of the group were anything from esteemed ex-lawyers to single parents to former athletes. One thing I can say, these people were for the most part all extremely driven and collectively mourning their old lives. There's a stigma that because ME's predominant presentation of symptoms is tiredness, that its victims are just being lazy. I can tell you firsthand that me and every single person I've met with genuine ME would rather run 1,000 marathons than have to live another week with the tiredness and the unrelenting.
that's crazy. That's crazy. He said everyone he's met with it, he said they'd rather run 1,000 marathons than to deal with this. He said that's how tough it's been on me. It's been that tough that I would rather run 1,000 marathons. You know how much that is?
Would rather run 1,000 marathons than have to live another week with the tiredness and the unrelenting fatigue. We were at war with our tiredness, trying desperately to escape it, and some of us would go to extreme lengths to turn ourselves into guinea pigs to try and find ways out. Suicide was pretty common in those online support groups.
Man, he said, hey, the only way that people found a way out is through S side, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that gave these people, like, solitude, basically.
It's out. Suicide was pretty common in those online support groups. It was around this time I was swallowed into the music industry. I was out busking on the streets one day and I noticed this sketchy, good-looking Mauritian guy with his arms crossed watching me, really intensely. as though he was studying every lyric coming out of my mouth. He approached me and asked me if the songs I was singing were mine. I said they were. A big smile was painted across his face, and he told me he just finished recording Plan B's latest record, which turned out to be The Defamation of Strickland Banks, one of my favorite.
Whoa. What? Dude. He's always meeting people that just have inspired him throughout time, basically. Ever since he was born, he just keeps just running into people when he's going through like hard times. He runs into the people that he needs the most, you know what I'm saying? He turned to music. The only thing that he knew, he turned to music. And he ended up meeting what, Plan B's manager, or like the person that records for him. I'm gonna have to, y'all gotta let me know which Plan B song to start with, because I do want to check out Plan B as well. He's written in the notebook because I want to see the inspiration, where Ren got his inspiration from, because I know y'all said that Ren has always looked up to Plan B, and he got like his kind of music inspiration from him.
Songs I was singing were mine. I said they were. A big smile was painted across his face, and he told me he just finished recording Plan B's latest record, which turned out to be The Defamation of Strickland Banks, one of my favourite albums of all time. He was looking for a new project to sink his teeth into, and he asked me if I'd come to London to record. We got into it. The whole time I felt dreadful, but this was a lifelong dream materialising in front of my eyes. So bit by bit, when I could, I'd get the train to London and start chipping away at my first ever album. I didn't really let on how I was feeling during this time because I didn't want to sabotage it. There would be times I'd finish up in the vocal booth after doing the take, excuse myself to go to the toilet, throw up from the dizziness I was experiencing, sometimes with specks of blood, and then I'd go back and pretend that nothing had happened. I'd be sitting around with the whole room
Man, he said the room was spinning. He would have to excuse himself because of the dizziness to go like throw up with specks of blood and then just return like nothing happened. And that is, dude, it's amazing. It is amazing. His favorite album of all time, his favorite artist of all time, Plan B, the person that recorded his album said that he wanted something else to sink his teeth into, and he's the one that recorded Ren's first album. That is truly just the world coming full circle. Like, that is amazing.
Of blood, and then I'd go back and pretend that nothing had happened. I'd be sitting around with the whole room spinning and would pretend I was fine. There was only so long that I was able to keep this up. Eric told me it'd be a cool idea for me to start going to industry showcases and start building buzz. Performing live like this was a whole new level of taxing that I wasn't ready for, but I was so ferociously ambitious that I just ploughed through. The usual way it would go is I'd be in the back of Charlie's car, the whole world would be spinning, I'd be trying my best to sleep in it all day, parked up outside of whatever venue or pub it was in London, trying to conserve energy for the show.
Man, had to sit in the car and just conserve energy just to do these shows, just to kind of try to get buzz, to get his name out there. Man, Ren he's truly a legend. Truly a legend, and I love these chapters because it gives me an insight into who he is, man. Who he truly is. And y'all, I'm glad y'all with me every step of the way through this.
In London, trying to conserve energy for the show. Sometimes I'd cry a little before I performed. My whole body would be burning. Then I'd brush it off and I'd get on stage and I'd perform as best I could. People would come up to me at the end, pat me on the back. I'd smile and pretend to be charismatic. Then I'd get back in the car and I wish I was in bed and have to endure a 3-hour drive back to Bath from London.
Oh, man.
There was only a few shows where I could keep pretending. I'd usually be trying to disguise the fact that my body was trembling through the fatigue and pain. Eventually I started crying mid-set. It became blindingly obvious to everyone working with me during that time that something was very wrong. I told...
Man. Everyone started to notice that something was wrong. Like, dude, he said he started crying mid-set. Like, he just... he didn't know how else, you know what I'm saying, to deal with the pain. But music was his everything. Music is his all. Music is the reason that he does it. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason that everything has just fallen into place for him. And he wasn't going to let any sickness, nothing, take him from that.
It became blindingly obvious to everyone working with me during that time that something was very wrong. I told Eric that I needed to take some time out. My plan was to live at home with my mum for a month maximum, get my energy back, and come and finish the record. That 1 month turned into 2 months, turned into 3 months, turned into 6 months. I pushed myself to total burnout. The distance led to me and that angel breaking up, in part because it was difficult to navigate a relationship when you have so much brain fog, and I didn't know what it was well enough to be able to explain it to her at the time. With a loud thud, I'd been jolted out of a Shakespearean storyline, I lost a record deal, and I couldn't get out of bed. My friends from Trick the Fox...
Man, that is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. Lost a record deal because he got so sick from doing all these shows and just absolutely wearing himself out from the person that he always dreamed that he could get a record label deal from. Plan B's record label? I'm assuming that's who it was. Man, that's heartbreaking, man. That's the hardest thing about this is he got everything he wanted. He said a Shakespearean type, and he lost it all because he got sick. He got so sick to where he just 1 month turned to 3 months, turned to 6 months, and then he just couldn't keep touch because all the brain fog, all the dizziness, all the sleepless nights.
Storyline, I lost a record deal, and I couldn't get out of bed. My friends from Trick the Fox never really called to check up on me. It felt like the whole world was moving at lightning speed without me. I had this amazing opportunity right in front of me, and I was chained to the floor. I was alone, I was sick. I wished that my condition would get it over with and kill me, but it wouldn't, and it felt cruel that it wouldn't. It just let me rot in bed. The whole world would continue to turn, and I would rot. In the next episode, I'm going to tell you about a fight with a television and losing my anal virginity to an 80-year-old man. Stay tuned for that.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh man, chapter 4 is gonna be something else. It's gonna be deep. Super emotional, I already know it. Man, this is crazy. This story, the Ren story, just gets deeper and deeper and realer and realer. Man.
Year old man. Stay tuned for that.
With Liberty Mutual, you can customize your car insurance to save.
My thought patterns are composed by a time bomb for an author, like pigs to the slaughter. A symphony of self-doubt sings out, breath starts getting shorter, running water. It's the state that I wish to become. Instead, concrete envelops my movement and I'm rendered deaf and dumb, unable to heed the advice of others. Don't tell me things will get better, cause so far things haven't gotten better. I've got the sweater, poster child, bipolar, ADHD, therapist, wet dream. I don't want to talk about my father, I don't want to talk about my dead friend, I don't want to talk about myself. I'm sick of talking about myself. I'm sick of talking about myself and realizing that talking about myself never ever helps. Still, I call for
So real, so real. He said, I don't want to talk about myself. I just realized when talking about myself, it never even helps. Man, this is a real song. Real song, real life, real bars right here. I'm sick of talking about myself, and I'm realizing that talking about myself never ever helps. Come on, man.
About myself and realizing that talking about myself never ever helps. Still, I call for help because I really want help. But the pills didn't seem to help, and the therapist didn't seem to help. But still, I want help.
Nothing is helping. The therapists, the doctors, the pills, nothing helps. Everything just keeps getting worse. Everything just keeps getting worse.
And the therapist didn't seem to help, but still, I want help. I've danced with the devil in hell. I've sat in a prisonless cell, and here I always dwell, in this prison in myself. I do this thing where my mind travels back to the golden age. You know those times where you were carefree and everything was golden? The golden age. You know those times where everything was golden, where you were carefree and everything was golden? The hardest thing I ever had to do was come to terms with the fact that time never really existed. I've always felt so fucking detached and broken, bruised and mismatched. Find it hard to relax, living under the cracks. Tried to fill in the gaps, lying here on my back. Still, I can't find it. Sense of peace in my mind declined it. Pulse increase and my sweat combines with a feeling so deep I fall inside it. Depression, I hate you, depression. Your constant oppression, respond with aggression. They say depression brings you lessons. Constant stressing conceals blessings. You will grow in broken settings. Fuck those lessons, fuck depression. I've been living in your shadow for...
Man, this song is so deep. So deep. He said, man, fuck depression. I've been living with this for so long. Like, I'm just sick of it. Oh, man. Ren with another amazing, mind-blowing, just real song.
In broken settings, fuck those lessons, fuck depression. I've been living in your shadow for so long that I forgot how I can shine, how I can find a refuge in my mind, how am I meant to sit here and unwind? The planets align, I feel like I'm cursed, feel like I'm cursed to just be here to hurt, feel like I'm cursed to just be here to bleed, but my demons been feeling this way since birth. Depression, I hate you, depression.
I've been feeling like this since birth, man. He said, I hate you, depression. And Ran, realest rapper in the entire world. No one else is doing this. No one is giving their whole life to music. While they're just so sick. But music is the only thing that makes them happy, so they gonna do it.
Depression, I hate you, 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 depression.
Wow. Wow. I mean, there's just nothing to say. Ren, dude, he puts his whole heart into his music, man. Like, that's already gonna make your boy tear up, man. Like, dude, he puts everything he has into his music. Regardless how he's feeling that day. It doesn't even matter. He does this for us, for everyone around the world, feeling the way that he does. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. Ren makes music, and Ren makes you feel like down deep. He makes you feel something special. You know what I'm saying? True inspiration, Ren is. You know what I'm saying? Like, every single chapter, your boy is gonna cry because Ren, he just has something in there that just is so deep, so meaningful. It's just, everyone can relate. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We had audio this time, which is good. So This was chapter 3. Chapter 4 coming tomorrow. I told y'all, we gonna do a chapter every single night, regardless of how, like, emotional, how deep, how real, how truthful, how uncomfortable this is gonna make people. You know what I'm saying? This is just something that Rand wants people to see. Rand wants people to just, like, he wants humanity just to become humanity. Like he said, he wants it to be the golden age again. Like, what happened to the golden age where everything was just golden? But you already know, it's your boy Smooth J. It's Speak My Opinion on Topics High. You already know what to do. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you new, we at 1.6K. We on the way to 1.7, and our goal is 2K. So let's get that. You already know, we worldwide, we global out here, man. And we have the community names posted in a poll, so go vote on that as well. And until next time, you already know, we out. Peace.